I'm making this a video because I just want to talk. You can listen or not, really couldn't care. This is purely for me, might sound selfish, it's my channel. So, what should we start off with? I'm fucking this up, and this is gonna be explicit. I will be using curse words, so if you don't appreciate that, kindly leave, thank you very much. Here's something that, this might just be a complaining session, so take that how you want. I really couldn't care. If you relate to something, hell yeah, motherfucker, let's go. Here's something that pisses me off as a born and raised Southern child. And I was born in North Carolina. I lived 18 years of my life in Georgia, and I'm now currently living in South Carolina. That is the South. The mid states, it's not really South. It's a whole different kind of thing, I feel. I mean, I guess every state in the South is a little different, but at least the area that I'm in, which is like directly on the border between South Carolina and Georgia, this area, pretty much South. But here's the thing. I'm not backwoods. I wasn't born on a farm. I wasn't raised on a farm. I don't live on a farm. I've never lived on a farm. The only time I've been to a farm is because I have a friend recently, by the way, it's like a couple months ago that I met him, who lives on a farm. And it's not really a farm anymore. It's just big land. And they do have like a little bit of a farm garden thing, and they have a chicken coop, and that's about it. But it's just mostly just a lot of land. I'm not accustomed to that lifestyle. That's not how I grew up. I would say it's more suburban. They call this a city where I live, but I mean, some people call it a city. To me, it's just a glorified town. This entire area is just kind of a stretched out, glorified town. Now we have like a small city, you know, it's set up like a city, it looks like a city, it feels like a city, except when you compare it to major cities like, I don't know, Atlanta, fucking New York, like, it ain't a city. So, depends on how you look at it and where you're coming from. But I've got friends who are not born and raised in the South. And when my drawl comes out, and it's a drawl, it ain't a Southern accent, the name for it is drawl. Get it right. Because we be drawing our words out, man. They automatically assume that any country song they send me, I'm gonna fall in love with, or I already know, or I just automatically love, because I have a drawl. Here's the thing, sweetheart. I like country rock. And two country artists. That's it. And one of those country artists is Lyle Lovett. And if you don't know who he is, he really don't sound country. It's more, to me, like bayou kind of stuff. But he just tells a story, and it's fun, and it's cool. And I know him because of my dad. So, it has a personal sort of meaning to it. But I'm so annoyed when people send me fucking country song after country song. Like, are you kidding me, dude? I already told you, this is not my music taste. And my music taste is various. It's like all the way down there. I'm very animated, if you can't tell. Pib. Because they don't have Dr. Pepper, because it's a Coca-Cola vending machine. Blah, blah. One Dr. Pepper. It's fun. But, all right, rock, hard rock, some metal. I don't do screamo, I don't do emo, I don't do satanic shit. Sorry if that offends you, I really couldn't give a shit. Pop and rap, very specific, kind of like country. Has to be something that I personally connect with, and I like the way it sounds. It's, you know, it's, but I do have a fair amount. I tend to like older rap and pop, like before the 2000s. That's kind of where my interests lie, but I do like some modern day rap. I like trap, dubstep, EDM, all that kind of stuff. What else? Classical. Like I said, country rock, blues rock, jazz, funk, PHONK, and funk, FUNK. Yeah. Hip hop, I guess. What's the difference between hip hop and pop? Because I really don't know. Is it more of like a mix of rapping and singing? Like pop is purely singing, rap is purely rapping, and then hip hop is in the middle? Is that what it is? I don't know. Anything that I can dance to, I like. Even if it's a bit of a dumb song. Line dancing songs, love them. I don't like that they redid the Wobble Baby dance because fuck you. That's not how you dance. That's not how you do it. It's a line dance for a reason. You do how they did it. That's how you do it. They don't do it anymore. Anyways, I do like, alternative, that's another one, which is, I don't know how to describe alternative because it's various. It's almost like the artist has a bunch of different styles. Like if you've ever heard of Aurora, she's alternative. Imagine Dragons are alternative. I don't know, but yeah. I like R&B, soul music, fucking love it. Oh, Jamaican. Whew. When a Jamaican song comes on my Pandora, I'm instantly in a better mood, man, because it's just like you vibing. Like it's just, I don't know, it's just happy all the time. And I love it. I love it. Such great vibes. I love it. Mwah. Beautiful. And I like music in different languages too. Like I've not gotten into anything with Asian languages in it. Not really anything, truly. Yeah, there were only a couple because my email pen pal had sent a couple, and she lives over in China. So she was sharing some of her songs that she liked from over there, and so I listened to those. But besides that, I don't really actively seek it out. I listen to some Spanish music or Hispanic music, whatever you want to call it. There's different styles, like it's various as well. I don't think people realize that when you say like Spanish music, it's not like just the stuff they play at the restaurants, you know what I'm saying? Like it's pretty fucking various. And if you're talking traditional Mexican music, that's a whole nother thing, motherfucker. They might be in the same language, but it's a whole nother thing. I don't think people realize that. German. I listen to German music. This guy, what is his name? I don't remember. I think it's Frank something. Look up Schwarz zu Blau. I'll spell it. SCHWARZZUBLAU. Schwarz zu Blau. Blue. Something like that. It means black to blue. That's what the words mean. But that's one of his songs. That whole album of that, I like it because it has so many real instruments in it. And that's the thing, okay? You can hear the difference between a fake instrument and a real instrument. And by the way, I hate any song that is obviously got way too much auto-tune. I like the whole, what is that song that the black guy made that's a country song? And it's like, pour me a shot of, I don't fucking remember, but it's a really popular one. Like one of the TikTok ones, you know. I don't like it. I tell you what, I like the music and I like the lyrics. Sing it in your natural voice, hon. Like, even we were watching, I guess that concert was at some sort of football game, I don't remember, but it was the CMA, Country Music Awards, yeah. We were watching that, and he sang it, and I thought he was just gonna sing it. His microphone was like overpowered with auto-tune. I'm like, honey, it makes it sound worse. And a Troye Sivan clip showed up on my phone of somebody videoing him singing in one of his concerts, and his auto-tune was up way too much. And I'm like, y'all, it doesn't matter if you're not pitch perfect. I mean, take a look at literally every song before auto-tune. Yeah, there were some artists that were just amazingly gifted with pitch, but there's a lot that aren't. And you know what? They still made it. They still made great music, and it was awesome, and everybody loved it. So I don't get the whole auto-tune thing. Personally, if you worry about it that much, go get some singing lessons, motherfucker. I hate the sound of auto-tune. It's disgusting to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm in the choir at my church, but I hate the way this looks right now. But I would rather hear you make a mistake. Personally, as somebody who is a little musically inclined, a little, okay, not a lot, a little bit. My brother's like all the way up there. I'm like, blah. But I'm disappointed. I was disappointed, very much so. And I also don't like songs that are just, or artists that are just explicitly talking about sex all the time. Like Sabrina Carpenter, you do you, girl. I don't got nothing against you personally, but coming from Disney into that, and I get it, it's not a kid's show. It's not. And I know that sex sells, but truly, you don't have to do that. Like, if you want to, okay. Personally, as a female, I don't like it. I don't get it. I don't like the whole shaking your ass with hardly even panties on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do you. I mean, you're fucking famous. You got a lot of money. You're having fun in life. Go ahead. Shit. You ain't need my permission. I'm just telling you my opinion. It's an opinion, guys. By the way, if you didn't know, free speech means I can say this. People piss me off because, I mean, you say you want free speech, and then you turn around, and as soon as somebody disagrees with you, or doesn't believe you, or says something contradictory to what you said, then all of a sudden you want to cancel them, take it down, and erase that moment from history. Like, honey, what are we doing here? Are we free speeching or not? Because I'm really not trying to save up money to leave the fucking country because my rights have been taken away. Like, and I'm not saying that they have. I'm just saying hypothetically, you know, free speech is a big fucking right, okay? That's honestly one of the things we pride ourselves on as Americans. I feel like, at least I do, the fact that we can say controversial things is good. I don't think people understand that. And they keep trying to say, like, this person's a dictator, that person's a dictator, this person's a communist, that person's a communist. No, they ain't. They really ain't. You've not experienced true communism or dictatorship. I haven't. But I'll tell you what, I watch content from people who have escaped it. And by escaped, I mean they literally lost their families in the process of getting over here. And you're complaining? No. And I get it. We don't know. I don't know what it's like. I don't want to know is the thing. That's the thing. I don't ever want to know what it is like to live under communism or dictatorship. I don't want that. That is why we are in America. Or any other country that is okay. I don't know, that has a good government system. Like, And we're not the best country, statistically speaking, but I don't care. I was born here. I'm proud of it. I'm so glad that I was born here and not in North Korea or somewhere like that, where I would have to fear for my life daily. Like, can you imagine that? Just step away from yourself. Step away from your problems. And I know it's hard because we get sucked into this life of, oh, woe is me. I have all these bills to pay. I'm sick and I can't go to work. Like, I get it. There are a lot of things that anybody can complain about. Do complain. I'm complaining right now. But my point is, we're allowed to. It is our right. Written in a contract, basically. It is our human right here to do so. So I don't understand people who are so contradictory, hypocritical. Honestly, like, you say you want one thing, but then as soon as somebody disagrees with you on something else, you want them to lose everything. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I didn't say that I wanted you to die. I didn't say that I wanted you to never speak. I just said, I disagree. Like, that's it. You know, so I don't really understand people who do that shit, but hell, to each their own, I guess. Fuck. I mean, even so, what's the point? Why are we arguing instead of having a conversation? Can we just sit down and talk? Can we actually go to our public library, go onto one of their computers, go to Galileo Galilei, you know, where they have all the scientific research articles that have been peer reviewed. And by the way, peer review is a very big process. And also, little tangent, side tangent, the whole vaccines causing autism thing, that was a published scientific article by a guy who did not research it. He literally just made it up. I'm not kidding. Look into it. He made it up, wrote an article, and it wasn't peer reviewed. He somehow got it published, probably because he had a lot of money and he wanted to start some shit for some reason. People believe something that they didn't even look into. That's the thing. That's what worries me. You're not even gonna look into it. You're not even gonna read it or watch it for yourself the whole way through to get the entire context of what is happening. You are taking a snapshot of what the conversation is about and believing a biased point of view from that snapshot. Take a chill pill, step back, do your research, then let's talk. Let's do it together. I'll sit down with you. Let's go. Because there's a lot of things I haven't read or watched, and I am down to do that with you. Like, all you have to do is ask. I don't know, man. World's crazy, but people saying it's the worst times we've ever lived in. We've never had worse times than this. Like, bitch, yeah, it's been fucking worse, bro. Like, I don't know. I would not have wanted to live in a different time. I mean, sometimes I say I do. I truly say that I do, but then I'll look back on it and I'm like, I wouldn't have had any rights. I wouldn't have been able to do this, post a video. Like, I wouldn't have been able to have a job. I wouldn't have been able to cut my hair short or wear pants or something, you know? Like, take a look at your true history, and not just here, all right, but world history, and really get into it. And you'll see, we're not that bad off right now. It might seem like we are. Maybe that's because some people want you to feel that way. They want you to be in fear. And I'm not saying I'm a conspiracy theorist, because I'm not. I laugh at the people who think the moon landing was fake. I'm like, okay, so you don't believe that humans are actually smart? Probably because you've never had your own idea before of an invention. It just so happens that some people can figure shit out. So you're telling me you don't believe in Galileo Galilei? You don't believe in Newton? You don't believe in Benjamin Franklin? You don't believe in fucking... Nikola Tesla, like everybody who did something major in history. Sophocles, that's his name, right? Hippocrates, like you don't believe those people were real when it's documented in history? You think that was all made up? And because of that, like, just look at what we as a human race have accomplished over however long we've been here, which is a long time. I mean, relatively speaking to Earth, it's not. And by the way, Earth is not just 4,000 years old. I just want to put that out there because I'm tired of people being like, there were no dinosaurs, those bones were planted, blah, 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 blah. I'm hearing way too many conspiracy theories, and I'm like, y'all. What's funny is they think they're outsmarting the government and all the people that are trying to control you, but they're just falling victim to it. Like, if they wanted to control you, they would have you live in fear and have you not believe everything that's actually true, which is what you're doing. It's kind of, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just thankful that I was born here in this time. And I'll let you in on a little secret. I've experienced racism. And I don't really like to talk about it. I want to, but I don't feel that I can sometimes. I feel weird talking about it. And I hate that. I hate the fact that I feel weird talking about it. I truly do. Because I mean, my right as an American is to have free speech. I should be able to talk about it, especially something that major. But you know what? I don't want to make it seem like my life is all that bad, because it's really not. I'm very fortunate. You know, and I don't know. I look at what my parents have done in their lives. Anything they have, anything my grandparents have, they worked their ass off to get. My parents lived in serious debt for many years just so they could have a house that would be a good enough size for us 3 kids. And my mom stayed home because she had gone to college to become a teacher, an elementary teacher. And when they had kids like right out of college, and firstly, who wants to be a teacher right out of college? I'm not doing that. I need to wait a little bit, if you get my drift. Like, I love you kids, I really fucking do. I love those kids. But going straight from a college grind to a life grind, I think I'm gonna take a little break and work at Publix a little longer. Thank you. And save up some money too. But that's why she stayed home, is because education was very important to her, and she wanted to make sure that I don't know if you would call it a head start, or that we were just prepared. Because when you don't read to your kid, when you don't help them learn the alphabet, when you don't help them learn how to write, when you don't help them navigate a book, when you don't help them speak, they go into school already behind. And it's almost like they need to be in a sped class sometimes. And that might sound weird, but I mean, just look at it. I'm telling you, it makes a world of a difference. But that's why she stayed home. And my dad was working 3 jobs so that we weren't like dying in debt. I mean, they were in debt, but they worked themselves out of that. And I'm proud of my parents. I'm proud of the way they did things, and I'm proud of the way my grandparents did things. Well, I don't know. Grandma and Grandpa lived a very sedentary life, which isn't a bad thing, but I'll tell you right now, I can't do that. I can't just stay home. I can't just sit and watch TV endlessly. I can't. I mean, I do go on doom scrolls. I do sit on the couch and watch TV for a long time. But I also get up and I do other things. And I go places and I get involved with groups and I have fun with friends and I go on jogs or I go on a walk where I just take pictures of things that I find pretty, because you can't tell I'm an artist. Like, just sitting in the house every day? No, thank you. I would like to live my life like my dad's mom lives her life. I mean, she is out there, man, doing everything. And I mean, I don't know. I just feel like people take one look at where they are now and skip right over how they got there. And they just assume that, oh, well, you're driving a car that your dad owns. Yes, I am. So you're a spoiled brat. Maybe I am a brat. Maybe I am spoiled. Maybe I haven't suffered enough. I apologize for not being homeless. I apologize for having loving, caring, hardworking, determined parents that want me to start out in life good, doing well. I apologize, I guess. I'm sorry, truly sorry that you didn't have that. If that's the case, if that's why you're upset with me, is because you didn't have that, I'm sorry. It's not fair. I don't know if you can read this. Life is not fair. It's one of my dad's favorite sayings, and it's in his handwriting. My dad is a sayings dude. He has like a million fucking sayings. My mom only has one. One day at a time. I put 2 more on here too. If it is to be, it is up to me. And life must be lived looking forward, but can only be understood looking backward. And I hope if you walk away with anything from this video, it's that. Those 4 sayings that I just read to you, because, I don't know, just being mad at somebody because they have more than you, like, I get it. I mean, I look at people, celebrities who, you know, were able to get out there because they had money to begin with. And I'm like, well, if I had money to begin with, I would have been doing the same thing, and I would have been famous, and I would have sold out shows and stuff, and I would have done this, and I would have done that. Yeah, so what? Maybe I'm not meant to do that. Maybe they were meant to do that. Or maybe I'm meant to learn from how they're doing that. Or what they're doing. Maybe I'm meant to learn. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I wish people would stop assuming who you are based on one instance of meeting you. And I get it. We've all done that. I'm no better. I really am not. I am no better. But to be like that to everybody, especially after knowing them a little bit more, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that that is the case. You know, I would have thought that, okay, well, after seeing how hard I work, after seeing how hard my parents have worked and still are, after seeing how humble my brothers are with their success, I mean, Scotty is an amazing musician. He was born a drummer. He really was. It was a gift from God. And at the age of 5, he was banging it out on a drum set, like, in time very well, with good rhythm and doing shit, like, musically. Like, he was on it since birth, man. Like, it's just in his genes. My parents always joke, they're like, I don't know where he got that from, because we're not musical at all. which is kind of a lie because my mom and dad were both in choir at church. So they are musical, just not naturally instrumentally talented. But here's the thing, he didn't just rely on his talents, he also worked day in, day out. He would practice for at least 4 hours each day, I believe. At least he tried to. He honestly tried to fill his entire day up with music. He's devoted his entire life to music. And I look up to him for that. Not because I want to do the same, because that's not what I want in life. I don't want to be a musician. I mean, it'd be cool to put some songs out there, but if all I have now is being in choir and putting some stuff on YouTube that not a lot of people see, I'm good with that. That's all I need. I don't need to blow up. I don't need $1 million. I really don't. Give it to somebody who does. I really don't. I mean, we could all use $1 million, but it's only gonna get you so far based on how you use it. But he's literally devoted his entire life to music, and he worked on it so hard. And it's not because he wanted to be better than everybody else. He wanted to be better than he previously was. He wanted to continuously stretch that boundary of where can I go. There was this post on Instagram I saw a minute ago. I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but saying that just reminded me of it. It was like, do you ever think that maybe the reason you're not reaching your goals is because you keep setting higher standards? And that's Scotty. That's him. He just keeps on keeping on and going further and going more and doing more and learning more. He's learned new instruments that he's never really tried before, like trombone and shit like that. Like he's always been percussion, yeah. He didn't really get the chance to do any wind or string instruments, besides piano, of course, which is a string instrument if you didn't know, but he didn't get to do anything else until after like high school and college. I think he started in college, but he bounced around a couple things. And you know what? Life takes you interesting places, because he didn't think he was gonna be where he is. You wanna know where he is? He's a professional percussionist in the Air Force Band. I hope. Now I'm gonna get fucking upset. I've been crying a little bit today, and I don't know why. I don't know, some things just kind of hit you deep, and you don't really understand why. I mean, you know why, you just don't want to acknowledge it. But I hope I never have to hear that he won't come home. Because I'll be honest, he was sent out to like Israel not too long ago, a couple months ago. I feel like it was before the hurricane, I believe. And I didn't think about it at the time that he left, of what it meant. I didn't think about it until I started to think, when is Scotty coming home? And it's not that I get to see him, because he lives in Hawaii. And as I told you, I do not. I live in South Carolina. And I can't just go there whenever I want. I can't. And it sucks, but it's true. So I worried a little bit. I knew he was coming home. I don't think he was in an active war zone, but that doesn't mean that your safety isn't, that doesn't mean your safety is 100% guaranteed. But I don't know, I just I thought about it, and I was like, I don't know what I would do if I got that message from probably my parents. And if I did get that message from my parents, my mom would just be shattered. And I can't handle her being upset. Whoever killed my brother, if that happens, I will hunt them down if they're not already dead. And I swear to you, I will. I have money saved up because I have learned from my parents how to spend wisely and how to save. And I will spend it all just to find his killer and take revenge. And it wouldn't be a quick death. I feel like everybody knows that if one of their loved ones is seriously harmed by somebody else, it's not going to be a quick death for that other person. It's going to be painful and drawn out, and they're gonna suffer. Maybe that's not for anybody to decide. Maybe that's a God thing, but I mean, if I have to make peace with the fact that I've harmed somebody just to harm them, I mean, harm them in revenge, yes, but you're not supposed to do that according to Bible and stuff. You're not supposed to seek out revenge. You're supposed to love your enemies. But how would I be able to love somebody who killed one of my family members? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, you'd have to be very, very godlike. And I'm not. A great example of a sinner. Well, that's something that people don't realize. And yeah, I am religious. I wasn't always religious, and that's a whole nother story that we can get into in a second. But that's something that people don't realize, is that Jesus, according to what's documented, not sure how accurate it is, but according to what is documented, he said to love your enemy, love your neighbor. He loved the sinners. He did. He truly did. He forgave them. People who killed him, tortured him into death. He forgave them. And he was human. And that is something I'll never understand. Forgiving somebody, especially when it's something really deep, I just don't know if I would be able to do that. Sorry, my hip's a little, pop it or something. Nope, that's the wrong hip. There we go. Okay. Kind of do a little mobility here. Alright. But yeah, I don't know. So I didn't always used to be religious. I was raised Baptist, which, if you don't know, Baptists tend to preach more about God's vengeance and wrath rather than God's love, which I hated. I mean, just every time it was like, you're going to hell if you do this. And to be honest, that's not what the Bible says. I mean, maybe you interpreted it that way, but I don't. And I didn't want any part of that. So I decided at 14 that I wasn't religious. And so for many years I was atheist. And people make fun of that because the stigma of people who are atheists is they tend to be very anti-Christianity. They tend to hate Christians, this, that, and the other. They tend to be dumb. Some people mix it up with Scientology, which I do not believe in. It's fun to do some of those things, like I'm a Libra or whatever, and it's fun to see, like, oh, that's kind of accurate. Oh, that's the colors that I am. You know, like, that stuff's fun. I don't actually believe in it. I'm sorry, but I don't. I don't believe in witchcraft either, so apologize for that. One of my best friends is into that. She called it something else, and she said it was around before the Bible, and it was related to Christianity and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, you go, girl, I guess, but I don't have to agree with you. I mean, I ain't gonna stop you from doing what you want to do. Go right ahead. I love you. Go. But, and I'll ask you for a tarot card reading just because it's fun and shit. But it's not that I actually believe in it. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that's not an insult to her, but I just don't believe in it. And that's okay. Because again, we are in America, and freedom of religion is another one of our rights that we are blessed to have. Blessed by people who came before us. People who owned, who were not great all the time. So it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to say bad things. It's okay to say wrong things, it's okay to do wrong things. Not like purposely do them, you know what I'm saying? Not intentionally do all that shit. If you learn from it later and you're like, I was a real asshole, I'm gonna fix that. That's the important part. Everybody's been an asshole at some point. Convince me otherwise. I have met some nice people, yeah, but I swear to you, sometime they have been an asshole. It might have been when they were 5, but they were an asshole at some point. So you can't fucking tell me that everybody, you know, this bubbly person that you met is 100% bubbly and kind and has never done anything wrong in their life. Like, that's unrealistic, but okay. I talk too much. Maybe my lungs are just, I feel like it's harder for me to breathe right now, and I'm not sure. Like I don't know, I feel like my lungs aren't expanding all the way. I don't know. But what time is it? Because I need to turn in a math quiz. I can't see what time it is. Hold on. That says 10:31. I hope that's accurate. It means I have a little less than an hour and a half to turn in it. That's alright. I got time. But I guess I'll sit on the floor for a minute. I don't know, man. Like, what was I talking about? What was I talking about? Oh my god. Oh, I will say this though. This is totally not on the topic that I was on, but I have, according to psychiatrists or whatever, depression, anxiety, a little bit of OCD, some ADHD, enough to affect both of those, OCD and ADHD, enough to affect my life in certain ways, but not necessarily in super negative ways. And I think I'm on the autism spectrum, but not all, like, not really. Because all 4 of those, by the way, are like symptoms of autism. Like, they're parts of it. And the more you have of these different things, you know, the higher the level of these different things, the more you are on the autism spectrum. I think I'm close to the lower end, but it's enough that some things just randomly fucking bother me. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know why, but I'm enraged by this and I need to go somewhere else and get back to normal. But what I'm saying in this is I don't like the fact that I have to say those things sometimes to explain why I am the way I am. Like, it's easy. I feel like that's why we have short labels like that. And same with short labels like black and white. Like, you're not black and I'm not white, but that's what we use because it's short and simple. And I feel like, you know, we tend to go towards that instead of something like a person of African descent or a person of German, Irish, and Welsh descent. In African, of course, you would get more specific with Nigeria, Jamaica, Egyptian. Egyptian is like wild because it's, I don't know, they almost look Greek a little bit. Like a mix of Greek and Indian, almost. I don't know if you've met somebody from Egypt, but I had a professor here, an astronomy professor. Astronomy, not astrology. Just want to put that out there. Big difference. Okay? Astronomy professor, and he migrated from Egypt. So, and he was super cool. He showed us some of the culture from over there and everything that I wouldn't have been exposed to otherwise. And he did it in a way that also connected to the astronomy lesson, which was so cool. So cool. Fucking love him. He was awesome. I love him. I sat in the front of the class because I was like, oh, this guy's got an accent. I'm gonna have to sit in the front of the class. And that's not an insult. That's just me saying that sometimes I don't hear even myself what I'm saying. So, motherfucker, I will be sitting in the front so I can understand because I want to understand. I want to hear what he's saying. And I liked his accent too. It sounded nice, in my opinion. But that was that. Oh yeah, but I don't really like the fact that when I say those labels that are easy and simple for people to kind of get a gist of, this is why I act like this, I guess. I always thought that's just the way I am. Like, I guess you could put a label on it if you want, but what's that gonna do? I mean, besides give you an overall of a bunch of different things that it could be, like, it's not very accurate. The little glare is bothering me. I'm gonna wipe that off. It's probably the oil from the Gamsol I was using. Yeah, no, because there's descriptions that match them, you know, but it's various. Like I said, different levels of different things. So when I say depression, anxiety, OCD, ADHD, you could have a million different images pop in your head depending on who you are and what you know about those things or what you've experienced with them or around them or anything. So I tend not to like to use them. Because what I mean is, my moods, we're going in that order: depression, anxiety, OCD, ADHD. My moods change sometimes very drastically, almost instantly. And sometimes it's for no reason at all. And sometimes it's because you said something that made me mad. Or, you know, maybe I was happy, but now I'm sad because I thought of something sad. Or maybe I just feel blah. Just ugh. Nothing is entertaining, nothing is meaningful, nothing is satisfying. You just want to stay in bed, stare at the ceiling, and play some music and just go, what the fuck am I even doing? Sometimes I think about things that I probably shouldn't. Sometimes I hate myself. You know, sometimes I really beat myself down. And then this is not a cry for help. Okay, I'm all right. Please don't be like, oh my God, go seek a therapist. Go to a therapist. La la la. Like, I'm good. I'm Gucci, bro. Please don't do that shit to me right now. I really don't like when people are like, you need help. Like, bitch, everybody does. Calm the fuck down. You know, it's not like I'm gonna do shit, and it's not even like it would affect you anyways. So back the fuck off. Thank you very much. I don't like people worrying about me. So I don't like asking for help. I don't need help. I got it. I can do it. If I truly know that something is outside of my limits, outside of my capability, outside of my knowledge, then yeah, I'll ask your help. But it's usually things that are like, for instance, my dad does own the car that I drive. And the front two tires, the tread's pretty low, so they need replacing. And I was at Discount Tire the other day talking with the man about it as I had an appointment. And I said, like, okay, because I didn't realize that was what that was happening at the moment or whatever. I could feel a difference in the tires, but I didn't think it was anything wrong. But I'm glad I went in because they were teetering in the yellow zone. The back tires are fine though, but I was like, let me call my dad because it's his car, you know, he owns it, he ought to make the decision, and he's also very particular about certain things. So I call him, and sure enough, he wants to do something different than what Mr. Bailey recommended. And I was like, I told you. Like, that's why I called my dad, because I knew that firstly, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know what the fuck any of this means. I know the basics, sure, but I truly don't know if I need to do more research, because that's my dad. He's a research dude and very analytical. And he was like, I need to do some research. I was like, yeah, I figured you wanted to look at the options yourself, all of the options, and make the decision yourself. Instead of I would have just gone with the recommendation Mr. Bailey said, because I don't know any better. But that's why I called my dad, because I know he does know better. So it's on things like that. And it can also be on advice, or just anything in general that I'm like, hey, I can't do this. I'm not strong enough. I don't have the knowledge, or I just physically or mentally, I don't understand that, or I can't do it. So I do reach out for help, but it's not, I don't know, I don't know how to word this. I'm like my dad a lot. I'm practically a mini him. I am a combination of my mom and my dad, of course. I feel like it's more so than my dad, though. And the mom stuff is probably just because of female. And my dad, oh my God, he did not know how to raise a daughter. I love him to bits, I really do, but he didn't really know how to be a dad to a daughter. And that's hard. I mean, he did a good job. At least I hope people think he did a good job with me, but he made mistakes, and that's okay, because that's what parenting is. That's what anything is. You're going to make mistakes. I mean, some of it hurts still, and that's okay. You know, I don't hate my dad. I hate some things that he's done or said. Same with my mom, honestly. But I don't hate them as people. I love them, and I respect them, and I'm grateful that they gave me the life that I have, and that they've set me up kind of for success. I mean, it's my willpower that's getting things done, and I searched for a job, and I did this, and I did that, and I pay my rent, and I do this, and I do that. But the reason I can is because I can ask them for help or advice, because they are there for us as kids. They are there, and I'm grateful for that. So I love my parents to death. I really do. And I'll be devastated when they do die. And if they are killed by somebody, I'm gonna go on a murder spree. Not that that would happen, but they've done things wrong. And like I said, that's okay. That is okay. I did things wrong as a daughter. But I usually tend to be the person that people go to for a therapy session. I'm the therapist friend. I'm the one that's convincing you not to kill yourself, basically. Like, I've done that. I've been on the phone late at night with a friend who's actively thinking about suicide and is almost about to do it. And I had to convince her not to. That was in high school. I didn't ever think about that kind of stuff in high school. I mean, yeah, self-harm a little bit, but not straight up dying. So I don't know what she was dealing with. She was dealing with a lot of shit. But every time I think anything close to those lines, I think about my mom. And I'm like, if I do that, my mom is going to be so heartbroken that she would probably die with me. And I can't let that happen, because I am not going to let my mom die. If it's within my power, I will not let her die. So, that might sound weird, but, and I say my mom because, like I said, it's a different relationship. I have a different relationship with both parents, and I feel like everybody does with anybody in their life, but I don't know. I'm very similar to my dad, and part of that is we're not good with emotions. Firstly, we don't really understand them. We can't really control them all the time, and oftentimes they tend to manifest in the form of anger over anything else. Even if you're sad or depressed or hopeless or lonely, you'll probably just look angry at the world, and you might even yell and slam things and be dumb as fuck. But that's how it comes out. And my dad and I are very similar, and so that obviously, because we're like that and we're very similar, high school was an interesting time. I don't know if it's hormones or if it's just the fact that I was becoming my own person, the person I am now and the person I will be. I was developing who I am, I guess, and a lot of that differs from him too. Like, it's similar, but it's different in many ways. And one of the differences was, I didn't think some of the things he flipped out about really mattered, because in the scheme of things, they didn't. I mean, one time, So I recycle because I feel like it helps. I hope it does, but if it doesn't, I'm sorry. At least I tried. But so we have this room called the bonus room, and it sits above the garage. And both the boys, Seth's 3 years older than me, Scotty's 7 years older than me, they were out of the house by the time I was 8 in high school, but they were both gone. So I had that room to myself. Got to do whatever I want in there. So I often did my work in there because it's the farthest from the other rooms except for the garage noise, you know. So it's quieter. I can focus better, that kind of stuff. And I had done a lot of art stuff in there because I'm an artist. And I don't say artist as in professional. I say artist as in this brings me joy and I hope to continue it throughout my life. But with that comes a lot of recycling. And I did that. And I had let it build up one time a lot. I mean, it was a mountain of recycling. I had a box full of shit, and then I had more shit, and then a couple more shit. Like, it ended up being, I think, 3 trash bags of recycling. And I'm getting it in the trash bag. Like, I'm like, okay, I've let that gone, you know, I've let that sit way too long. I need to take care of that now. So I get the trash bags, and I'm putting it in the trash bags, and I'm putting the trash bags in the hall and getting ready to take it down outside and put it in the trash can, okay? And Dad comes up as soon as I literally finish putting everything in trash bags and cleaning up, and he sees the 3 trash bags in the hall, and he just gets so pissed, and he just starts, like, he raises his voice. I wouldn't say yelling, but he raises his voice, and he's mad. I'm like, I'm taking care of it, though. And he's like, you shouldn't let it build up. And I was like, I know, I'm sorry. That's why, like, I recognize that. That's why it's in the hallway now, instead of continuing to build up. Like, I recognize that, okay, I let that go too long. That was a mistake. And I'm currently fixing it, or at least trying to, and now you're mad? And he's just like, I don't understand sometimes. Like, I don't know. My mom and dad had a lot of fights when I was in high school, and my mom actually called me the wedge between the two. And I don't think she knew what she was saying, because when I looked at her and I was like, I'm what? Like, I looked at her astonished that she would say that, because she's not like that. She didn't say that shit. So I was like, what? I was the wedge between you two. I was the reason you were considering divorce. I was the reason he left every other fucking week for a week and took the dog and left you crying in my arms. Like, I'm the wedge? Okay, Mom. My bad, motherfucker. That's why I don't talk to you guys anymore. That's why I don't come over anymore. Because you don't. Purely. That's... When I lived closer, Mom made more of an effort. And by closer, I mean 12 minutes. I now live, like, on average 30 minutes. And it's just like... my head's hurting, sorry. My hair looks like shit, but... I'm just like... What the hell? Like, you're judging me. She, like, literally the other day at a family dinner, Thanksgiving, well, it was lunch, but she was like, well, you know, if you came over more, you wouldn't have to complain about us not reaching out. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I really wanted to tell her, the reason I don't, oh, God, sorry about that, got a little nauseous for a minute. I'm overheating, so I'm gonna end this soon, but the reason I don't reach out, I don't text anymore, I don't come over, is because I have asked you, I've called out for help so many times, literally sending texts that are a call for help. It's a yell, it's a scream, and nothing. Like, I'm sorry, I'm too busy. Like, she said it better than that, but I'm like, Mom, I'm not gonna come over, I'm not gonna go out of my way for you guys if you're not gonna do the same for me. And I love you, I truly do. But I shouldn't have to reach out to my mom every time that I wanna hang out with my mom. I shouldn't have to drive 30 minutes every time when I am 21 and doing college and work and all this other shit that I really don't even have time to cook myself a proper meal. Come over here and put some effort into the relationship and try to be my mom again and try to be my dad. Instead of just once in a while, a text or two, or I have to call you for advice or something that I truly don't know something about, or I see you at one of Angie's dinners. Or, like, if you want a relationship with your daughter, it has to go both ways. I'm gonna end here because I'm feeling a little nauseous. I'm overheating, so I need to go. But that's my rant. Bye.